a 50-minute episode that we got for this week, and I enjoyed it. I actually say it was pretty good. A lot of story arcs moved forward on this episode. In particular, I got a home in from that fallout that went down from last week's Power, where the $1 million question: why did Thom Latimer and Chris Adonis do that vicious beatdown attack there on Nick Aldis? Why did they do what they did? So we finally had got an answer to that. And boy, Thom Latimer's response, man, you talk about jealousy like a mofo. Ooh, that's the most deadliest thing a person can have is jealousy. It's weird because you can always apply that jealousy to real life, man, because you got mofos. They want something that you have, and they're trying to just figure out how the hell they can have what you have, but they don't want to put in the time. They don't want to put in the effort. They don't want to do that grind. You feel what I'm talking about? They want to figure out a way to freaking cut through all of that noise and just gimme right now. That's how a lot of them are trying to figure it out there. And what's going on here? Hang on here, guys. No, we're good. I thought there was something weird going on with the stream connection, but no, we're actually pretty good. I wasn't sure what the hell was up with that. But no, it's jealousy is a hell of a thing. It's a hell of a thing. And some of the stuff that Thom Latimer had put out there tonight on this week's Power, boy, that jealousy, it is intense with him, yo. It is intense with him. Let me tell you what. All right, so some of the action that came up tonight, we got the NWA World Tag Team Championship Tournament semifinals match there as Hawks Aries, Luke and PJ Hawks, they were in action. They defeated the team of Saul Renaro and Mims to advance to the finals of the NWA World Tag Team Championship Tournament. So again, Hawks Aries was the team to advance. Look, I think the right team went over on this one. I don't have a problem whatsoever with father and son going over. I've taken, I'm sure as many NWA fans as well, has taken a strong liking to Hawks Aries these past several weeks, and I wouldn't be surprised if those that's been making their rounds, checking out all the various wrestling promotions, you just think about what's been going on with Ray and Dominic Mysterio. I would not be surprised if some of the fans honestly took a step back and said, you know what, not for nothing, but what's going on with Hawks Aries, liking them more, their story arc, liking what's happening with them more, especially from a development standpoint, than what's been going on with Ray and Dominic Mysterio. If anybody's out there that feels that way, you're not the only one. Ain't nothing wrong with feeling that way. But and I love how Luke Hawks there at one point was showing some tough love there to his son, because he was trying to understand just what exactly was his son trying to do. And he just, he didn't chew into him like a tag team partner. He chewed into him like a father to a son. And I just love seeing that on full display and everything. And the son seemed pretty hot-headed. He seemed matter of fact, like he knew what he was doing, but Dad made sure he slowed his kids roll down there and let him know, no, this ain't what's up. This ain't how we doing it. No. So I kind of like how you had that little bit of friction that was going on in the match. By the way, got to give a shout out to Danny Dills. Love my man, Danny Dills. Danny Dills, though, being a little bit of a bad boy this week on Power, man. I mean, he was making his presence felt in this matchup multiple times, trying to get himself involved in this tag team matchup. Yo, man, jumping up on the apron, trying to get the referee's attention. Well, he got it. He got it a couple of times there. And I looked at that, and the two times that he was causing the distraction there, I couldn't help but wonder, all right, how much longer until the referee goes on ahead and ejects him? because this is twice now that he's doing this. Is she even going to eject him at all? And sure enough, third attempt, third time's a charm. Boom, ejected him right there on the spot. Gotta tell you, I love that. I love that. I love that they pretty much had went there, because you just felt that if the referee wasn't going to eject him at that point, then what the hell is the whole point of really having a referee? Because the referee, at the end of the day, they are supposed to make sure that as far as law and order, all that stuff goes, they are the be-all, end-all and everything. So it was nice seeing after that third strike, the referee just, okay, you know what? Tired of going back and forth with you about this. We're over. We're done with this shit. You're out of here. Love that. Love that. That was a nice little touch right there. Great tag team opener too. It felt like these tag teams went at it for about, I would say, 15 minutes, give or take. Very good. Love the chemistry, particular that was going on there with PJ Hawks and our pal Saul Renaro. Oh my God, they just back and forth. Excellent, excellent. Overall, great tag match. Great opener. I definitely feel that, see, this is a tough one because these were two really good tag teams. So this really could have gone either way. It really, really could have. But the fact that Luke and PJ Hawks were the team that went over, I think, honestly, no matter how you cut this, whichever team from this one would have advanced, everybody would have been just fine with it. But you know, I think what this would really come down to is personal preference for each wrestling fan. Like for me, if you're asking me straight up and looking at this, it's a coin flip for me. I honestly, you could put me up against the wall and say, no, Lee, you gotta pick one. I couldn't pick one because I love both of these tag teams, you know, equally. There is no slight edge. There is no. Not with me, at least. I don't know how it is from you guys, but no. I think this was a damn good opener, though. I definitely feel that the right team had advanced. Now, in an interview immediately after the conclusion of this matchup, we got to hear from the Pope, and he discussed once again his shot at the world title. Now, remember, last week, Pope teased that he was going to have some type of an announcement that he was going to be making on this week's Powerrr. So surely we go into this episode and it's all about finding out, okay, when is this going to happen? When is this tag match, or correction, when is this match for the world title here? When is it going to go down? All right, so Pope finally shedding a little bit of light, or so we think. Not. He really didn't. He basically made it clear that he's not, and he pretty much made a promise. He's not going to be cashing in his championship opportunity when Trevor Murdoch doesn't expect it, because he has a lot of respect for this man. You know, he respects him tremendously. They've just the up and down the roads that the two of them have been on over the many years, the various promotions that they both have worked for. They know each other's families. He was one of the first that was backstage at NWA 73 to congratulate him after Murdoch won the NWA World Heavyweight Championship. Actually had embraced one of Murdoch's sons as the son was crying and giving him a nice big hug and everything. And so, you know, there is that mutual respect that's there as far as Pope is concerned. There's that mutual respect that's there between him and Trevor Murdoch. And at the same time, he recognizes that he's in the NWA and the opportunity that he holds in his hands to cash in that opportunity for a shot at the championship at any time. But on this night, he vowed to Trevor Murdoch he's not going to be pulling one of those, just out of nowhere, left field, surprise attack, none of that. He is going to do it straight up, mano-a-mano. He's going to make sure that Murdoch has enough ample time to prepare for the matchup and everything. But from here going forward, Pope's message to Trevor Murdoch, enjoy your championship reign. You ain't got to worry about Pope lurking in the shadows. Not going to be happening. It's like, when I do bring you the fight, I'm going to be bringing it to you head on. You're going to have more than enough of a heads up to prepare yourself. So, that was kind of refreshing to hear that Pope is basically taking the gentleman's exit. He's going to do the nicest thing that's possible, and largely in part because he's got that respect there for Trevor Murdoch. Can't really say the same for some of the other cats that's there in the NWA, and Trevor Murdoch, he knows that he's got a bullseye that's on his back right now with that 10 pounds of gold, and none could be more greater of a deadly challenge than Tyrus. Good old Tyrus. Yeah, we definitely got to talk about Tyrus and his TV championship match that he had on this week's episode. But first, there was an interview that went down between Chelsea Green, Melina, Kylie Ray, and Cal Davis was conducting this. Just all over the place. Obviously, all of these women, what they all have in common, they all are targeting the NWA Women's Championship. They all want a shot at the championship. Chelsea Green, she still feels it should be her. She's still doing her whole hot mess, psychotic breakdown there. Melina, making an argument for herself that, she should be the one to go after the women's championship. That bad blood that's still there between her and Camille. She's looking to put Camille that is, in her place, wherever that may be, as far as when they're going to ultimately lock up. I wonder if they're going to be locking up coming up at the By Any Means Necessary pay-per-view, or if maybe they're going to, at this point, lock up at the Hard Times joint. Because it seems right now, past couple of weeks, you've been hearing December 4th, and you're kind of going, what is so special about December 4th? What the hell? Hard Times 2. That's what's going down. And I got to give NWA a lot of props here. They did a better job this week really bringing home the fact that December 4th, Hard Times. Because remember, we were on this show off and on past couple of weeks, and we mentioned how some of the wrestlers were mentioning December 4th, and it's kind of like, what the heck is happening December 4th? Didn't see any news that was out there, and now, we know, Hard Times. So, you got me as far as when we're going to be seeing this Melina Camille matchup. I would hope that by the time we get to next week's By Any Means pay-per-view event, maybe that's when we're going to see these girls lock up. Have to wait and see, honestly. Have to wait and see how that pans out. Some other notes here. But yeah, this was just pretty much a talking segment. Just everybody just putting in their hat saying, hey, I could be next. I could be the next women's champion. Then, of course, let's not also forget Velvet Sky. She's got her little trump card. She could cash in anytime, anywhere. Or maybe she cashes in and tries to go after the NWA Women's Tag Titles. Maybe beautiful people reunite. You never know. Remember, I've been saying that type of stuff. What was it? If not last week, the week before. I've been really liking that idea more and more. But NWA World TV Championship match. Tyrus successfully defended the championship against Jordan Clearwater. Man, I ain't never seen a match that took so long to begin in my life. They wasted about at least damn near, felt like 2 minutes, at least 2 minutes, just to shake each other's hands, just to finally start taking their robes off and all of that. There was a whole bunch of just, you want to talk about procrastination. This was it right here. There was a lot of procrastination. Referee was trying to do his best to have Austin Idol, Black G's, and everybody else exit. And these guys were just taking their dare sweet time. But finally, after they all had made their exit and everything, that's when we finally got to see some in-ring action. And, not for nothing, but it kind of looked as though Jordan Clearwater, early on, he was in on this and he was playing the whole procrastination game. But then all of a sudden, we just started seeing him on the offense there, taking Tyrus by surprise, right down to the point. Couple of moves he was doing to the big man, got him down on his knees. At that point, all he had to do was just keep staying at it, just stay on top of the big man, make sure the big man don't get up and everything. But he started to get way too cocky, and that's what we've seen with the Jordan Clearwater character over these past several weeks. That cockiness, that arrogance has pretty much gotten the best of him in some critical moments. And this was another example right here where that arrogance just bit him in the rear end yet again. Tyrus coming right back, pretty much squashing the hell out of Jordan Clearwater. From there, post-match, Storm. As a matter of fact, now that I'm thinking about it, because this match had a time limit of 6:05, about the 2-minute 3-second mark, I believe, that's when this match was pretty much over. Yeah, just last thing you want to do is piss off Tyrus. As we've seen, Tyrus will make quick work out of you, straight up, and he did it out of Jordan Clearwater. Post-match, he stormed away, and keep in mind, Tyrus let you know how little respect and character Tyrus has for Jordan Clearwater. He constantly was looking at Trevor Murdoch, because Trevor Murdoch was our special guest color commentator for this week's Power alongside Joe Gallia and Velvet Sky. By the way, got to give a shout out to Velvet Sky. She is coming along with the commentating. She's really, really coming along leaps and bounds better than what we've experienced as fans in the previous months. She is really, really coming along. I cannot stress that enough. And you know what's so refreshing to see and hear is other fans that check out NWA on a weekly basis, even they are noticing and going, okay, yeah, she is getting better. She is coming along. Okay, great. And just the encouragement that we all are continuing to send towards Velvet, keep at it. Is she still a little rough in a few areas? Yes, without a shadow of doubt. But the homegirl is definitely coming along. You got to give that praise where that praise is due, right? And here on this show, we like to try to make sure that as far as the praise and the criticism, we got to try to make sure it's 50-50, right? It's not 80-90% criticism, 10% praise. You can't operate that way. Post-match, Tyrus having some words with May Valentine. And once again, he sends a message to Scion, the Max Man, saying, look, if I'm willing to do what I just did to one of my brothers, one of the members of this stable, somebody I know, what do you think I'm going to do to you, Scion, when you and me lock up? He pretty much told Scion, you don't have a chance. You're pretty much biting off more than you can chew. I have been loving seeing Tyrus these past couple of weeks really chew into the fans. I mean, he is really, really, and look, not for nothing, but we got to remember, there's still all these episodes that we've been seeing so far. They're still doing this out in St. Louis here. But just the promos he's been cutting on these fans the past couple of weeks, I've been loving it. One point in his promo tonight, he talked about how he was going to make Scion squeal. And you got to play it back when you check out this episode, if you haven't checked it out already. But you got to make sure, if you miss it, because it's real easy to miss, but you got to play it back. You can actually hear a fan say, like Deliverance. And that fan was referring to the movie, because he homes in on the part where Tyrus was talking about making Scion squeal. And Tyrus, within like seconds, jumps on what that fan said and comes right back with, oh yeah, because Deliverance, just like Deliverance, the movie. Yeah, y'all know a thing or two about that here in Missouri. Isn't that y'all's favorite Disney movie? And the fans just let Tyrus have it. They just started lighting his ass up. Love that. I mean, I was howling big time. I was in tears when I heard that line. That was just good shit right there. But I'm loving seeing this Tyrus that's, poking around, playing with the fans, right down to the point. The fans started chanting for Trevor Murdoch because Tyrus then turned his attention to Trevor Murdoch and everything. And the fans started chanting for him. And Tyrus goes, okay, you guys are going to continue to chant for him? Because if you're going to continue to chant for him, I'm going to stop talking. I'm freaking out of here. And fans kept chanting for Murdoch. Tyrus a little butthurt there. He took his ball and pretty much went home. Good shit. Good shit right there. I like how all of that was set up. Interview segment had went down with Mickie James as she reflected on how much of a success NWA Empowerrred was. Her words, she said it was the best pay-per-view of all time. And she stressed that that particular event, that was just the beginning. And that what's going to be happening next week, as we told you guys pretty much at the top, they're going to be doing a special NWA Empowerrred episode of Power, where it's pretty much just going to be about all the women. And she soon got interrupted by Kiera Hogan. Kiera Hogan, she kept saying, hey, I don't mean no disrespect. I don't mean no disrespect coming out here and interrupting. It's like, you don't mean no disrespect, but yet you are showing the disrespect. I remember what we've been seeing from Kiera Hogan these past couple of weeks. She's been a little bit cray cray, so to speak. All right, definitely a little bit cray cray here, and that cray cray continued on here on this week as she talked about how, okay, and here's the thing. Literally right before Kiera Hogan comes out, Cal Davis asked Mickie James, okay, so how is the card for Empowerrred looking for next week? What can you tell us right now? And pretty much in a nutshell, Mickie James is like, okay, look, it's still relatively early. I'm thinking Hex is probably going to be in action. You're probably going to see them. You'll probably see also, I'm still putting the card together, but it's going to be a fun show next week. That's right. So she's still a little bit in the dark trying to figure out what's the card going to be for Empowerrred. But Kiera Hogan comes out and, she's telling Mickie James how she appreciates, and just adores her, respects her and everything, but then wonders, okay, you say you respect me, Mickie, you say you care about me and you love me and everything, but most importantly, you respect me. Well, how come I'm nowhere on the Empowerrred card for next week? And Mickie James is like, whoa. No, that's not even the case at all. You're definitely going to be part of the Empowerrred card for next week. I just got to figure out who your opponent is going to be. I look at you and remember, I've been following your career. I pretty much know you since you were 17 and just everything that's come about for your career so far, I've been very impressed. Like, no, you were never going to be off of the Empowerrred card. I'm just trying to figure out what opponent of your caliber, would be a really good fit for you and everything. So Kiera is hearing this and she decides to spice it up a little bit more and say, okay, well, look, only reason why I came to NWA was because of you. So that in mind, nothing would be more gratifying. Nothing would be more badass than to be able to face my idol. I would like to face you at Empowerrred next week. What's up? And Mickie James, basically says to her, I'm trying to figure out how Mickie James, she wasn't trying to wiggle out of it. That's not the vibe that I had got. But Mickie James said something along the lines of, what's going on with you? He's like, this isn't how we conduct business. Why are you out here trying to, put yourself in an angle? Like, that's not how we do business. You want to talk about this, we could definitely talk about this, but we're going to do this backstage. Here, this isn't the time or the place to be doing that type of stuff. So Kiera comes right back thinking Mickie James is trying to dodge her, ask her straight up if she's scared. And Mickie really just brought it on home, really slammed into Kiera Hogan and told her straight up she was very disappointed with how she was acting, and she did not condone it whatsoever. Has a lot of respect for her and everything, but Buster out said, look, you got my cell phone. You could have been on the phone calling me as soon as the Empowered pay-per-view was over. We could have squashed this a long time ago, but the way you're out here conducting yourself right now, very disrespectful to me, very disrespectful to the fans. We're not going to be doing this out here. You want to talk about potentially having a match with me and everything? All right, we're going to talk business in the back. That's how we do it. We're not airing it all out here. So, we got Kiera Hogan. That's kind of, I got to say, I'm liking this. I'm liking this a lot because, we got ourselves a little bit of Cray Cray Kiera Hogan right now, and it gives me, I don't know if you guys have been kind of picking up this vibe as well, but it got a little bit of this it reminds me a bit of Mickie James, and when we were first introduced to her in the WWE, when she was the crazy fan there, remember? She was the crazy fan of Mickie James. And that's pretty much how everything had began there. You just get a little touch of that with this whole Kiera Hogan. Kiera's feeling as though Mickie James is disrespecting her, and that's far, far, far from the truth. It's fake news, but it's like, what the hell is Kiera? What is she watching? What is she listening to that is making her think it's the opposite? I don't know. I don't know if she's got a case of the R-Truth and it's the whole spiders that's crawling in her head. I don't know what's going on, but I find this to be very intriguing, and I want more. I got to say, out of all the story arcs that's going on in NWA right now, with the exception of what we've been seeing with Thom Latimer, the whole Nick Aldis, Strictly Business, this Mickie James, Kiera Hogan, I'm finding that to be quite as intriguing as well. So I'm very curious to see, how's that going to be resolved, if it's even going to be resolved at all, going into the Empowerrred edition of NWA Powerrr for next week. Try saying that 10 times fast. All right, speaking of Thom Latimer. So he cut a promo. He was talking about why he did what he did to Nick Aldis. What was that? Was it last week? Or 2 weeks ago or whatever? Latimer described how he's always felt he's been outranked by Nick Aldis. Basically, when they were both coming up, going through the same ranks, Nick Aldis was getting 30 pounds. Thom Latimer was getting 20, 25 pounds. When Nick Aldis had finally got his big break and he was able to go into the States, sign for a major wrestling promotion, eventually get paid some nice serious dollars, Thom Latimer was still doing his thing on the independents, clawing, scratching, doing his best, get those scraps. He was getting those healthy scraps. Then when he finally was able to make it to the States, Nick Aldis was a world heavyweight champion, and, well, Latimer was still doing his respected thing. He still was at the very bottom. So early on, you're getting right here, okay, so he's mad at Aldis for pretty much leaving him hanging, if you will, when it came to Aldis digging up money, doing what he can to get himself over into the States, train under Harley Race and everything. Latimer pretty pissed off that Aldis left him behind. Okay. But then it goes a step further, and it was interesting to see Camille constantly tugging at him, whispering some stuff in his ears. Like you're feeling Latimer at first. You're kind of going, okay, all right, kind of understand this, all right? You kind of sympathize with the brother, but then he starts going the petty bitch route, which is basically, You get the free suits. You get the free watches. You get to eat wherever for free. All right. So ultimate jealousy is what's going on here with our boy Thom Latimer. It's the ultimate fucking jealousy. And Latimer just can't stand it. And right on back, let's bring it on home. Remember what we had teased a couple of weeks ago as far as, why potentially he did what he did with the attack on Aldis. Remember, I kept bringing up, even right before that, I teased the whole, Nick Aldis, is he getting weak? Is he getting soft? What's going on here, right? And sure enough, bringing that on home, Aldis says, or rather Latimer says to Aldis, as far as I'm concerned, besides all of those things, you got soft, you got weak, you got complacent, and pretty much that's why he kicked his ass when it's all said and done. So he had a nice, good, strong message for him, and which was he demanded an apology from the former champion for the way he felt that Aldis has been treating him all these years. And most importantly, he wants for Aldis to have that serious heart-to-heart conversation with his son and let his son know why Uncle Thom beat the living crap out of Daddy, and what all's going on. But most importantly, apologize to his son for, basically, hey, you basically lost a friend when it's all said and done. So, yeah, really, really bringing it home right here. This, for me, was one of the truest stepping stone moments I felt for Latimer. Look, I've been watching Latimer since, God, I remember his Impact Wrestling days, his TNA days. That's how far back I go with him, watching his career and all. And the way he has just been able to string everything together to the point of where he's at right now, now he is definitely a bona fide star as far as I'm concerned, the way he's been able to piece everything together. And I've really been liking how NWA and crew have been flushing out his character more and more, and getting us to this point right now where he has literally commanded being a main antagonist, right? I like it. I'm really, really liking it. When you just look at the landscape of heels that we got running around in NWA right now, he literally, when you really just take a step back and think about it, he's literally taken the spot that heel Nick Aldis used to have. I mean, he's very easily, convince me otherwise, but in my opinion at least, he's very easily slid into, that number 2, potentially number 1 heel position there. I mean, he's definitely going back and forth there with our boy Tyrus right now. But yeah, phenomenal job. I can't wait to see how everything strings on back with Nick Aldis. The retort. I can't wait to see how all of that is going to play out. But he's doing that Thom Latimer. He's continuing to do a phenomenal job. It's amazing. When you really take a step back and think about it, it's amazing how it's pretty much taken this long for the brother, to put it all together. But you know what? Timing is everything, and seems like, we knew what this guy was capable of when we were looking at him back in the TNA days, but we all just kept wondering, okay, when is this guy going to be able to, and it just seems like he finally was able to string everything together there in NWA. So loving what I'm seeing of the big man. Remember what I was saying earlier as far as most intriguing story arcs in NWA? This is definitely one of my other favorites that's going on. After that little interview segment, Cowboy James Storm, he came out pretty much stating that his goal is to win the NWA National Championship again. So it seems that Judas, that's now in the rearview mirror, that's over and done with. His focus right now is that national championship. So, all right, I guess it's safe to say at some point we're going to be definitely seeing him and Chris Adonis lock up for that title. Main event match of the night, the Ends, Pharaoh and Odison defeated Kratos and Aaron Stevens to advance to the finals of the NWA World Tag Team Championship Tournament. Honestly, given the story that's been laid out these past several weeks, as Kratos has been laying it in heavy on his boy Aaron Stevens, telling him to dig down deep. You know, that chaos that Aaron Stevens is trying so hard to maintain and not let it loose. He wants him to let that chaos loose already, and bring it to the forefront, because by doing so, they will be one of the most dominating tag teams in the NWA. And, they're going to just all of what I just said and just that story arc that's been going on these past couple of weeks made all the sense in the world to see the Ends, Pharaoh, and Odison advance, because there's a bigger story that's going on here, and that bigger story is just what exactly is going on with Aaron Stevens. So I think it's the right move. I think it's the right move. The right tag team had went over. I love seeing the End just beat the holy crap out of these guys as soon as the match had started, doing their best to do the whole isolation from these guys. Aaron Stevens not really getting in that much of an offense. I mean, he pretty much was getting beat up for most of this match. Barely any offense coming in there. Kratos was the one that you look back on this match, and Kratos, it seemed as though maybe he was going to be the one that was possibly going to win it for the team. I especially liked it when him and Pharaoh, they pretty much were sizing each other up, and those two big behemoths, and them two big bears of men just going at it there. Love that. That was pretty badass how all of that was laid out. And then pretty much going to the end of that match, when Stevens was able to get the hot tag, again, he got in very little offense, and pretty much the way it ended for poor Aaron Stevens, what was it? A roll up. It was a freaking roll up. And the victory goes to the End. Right on cue, you got Aaron Stevens saying, "What the fuck?" Right? He can't believe in himself. Kratos showing Aaron Stevens some tough love afterwards, trash talking like a mofo, even pushing Stevens, wondering what the hell. So there's a bigger story that's going on here. So I have no problem whatsoever with the End advancing. So when you just really go back, you look at the teams that have pretty much advanced, and we're now talking about the finals. So again, for the finals, it's now the End taking on Hawks Airy. And the winner of that will go on to face La Rebellion for the NWA tag titles. Right team went over, as far as I'm concerned. Should be a damn good finals matchup that's going to be going down. Now, hopefully they do that bad boy. At the By Any Means Necessary pay-per-view. I'm hoping that's when it's going to be going down. We'll have to wait and see, because they still don't have. Matter of fact, I'm looking at the matches that has been announced so far for By Any Means, which again is going to be happening on October 24th. Apparently, Tim Storm is scheduled to be in action. As far as who his opponent is, it's not known. Elijah Burke will be in action, though, as he'll be facing Colby Carino. Other matches include the Hexes, Marty Bell, Allison Kay, taking on Kylie Ray and Tootie Lynn. And there's going to be the steel cage match, of course, between Jax Dane and Crimson. But other than that, no other matches have been announced just yet. It's kind of one of those deals as we get a little bit more closer. We're still like about essentially, we're like about, it's on October 24th. We're like a week and a half out per se. Yeah, like about a week and a half out, give or take. So I'm sure we'll learn a lot more as we get closer. But pretty solid episode of NWA Powerrr for this week. I gotta say, definitely a pretty good episode. Enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I mean, it went by so fast. It wasn't even funny when it's all said and done. It went by so fast. So look, quick programming notes I want to give you guys. I told you guys that there was going to be a show Wednesday, but I forgot that Dynamite is not going to be doing its thing this Wednesday because NHL hockey is back and it's premiering on TNT. So, hockey this week on TNT. So, Saturday, Dynamite is going to be airing. But remember, Friday, there is going to be a new Rampage episode. And I think during their first half hour, they're going to be competing against SmackDown because SmackDown decided that they're going to go 2 hours and a half this week with that bonus half hour, I believe, taking place on FS1. So that should be interesting. Tony Khan kind of essentially countered that, if you will, as there's going to be exclusively on YouTube a pre-show to Rampage, if you will. And we got news that there's going to be a match between Daniel Bryan and Minoru Suzuki. I mean, you just hear that and you're going, holy shit. You're going, holy shit. Yeah, I don't know how many of you guys had heard that news, but, you know, if you happen to follow Tony Khan on social media, that's pretty much where the news had really first broke out. But, yeah, he said that ahead of the huge Rampage Friday night, 10 p.m. Eastern, live on TNT with CM Punk taking on Matt Sydal, Chris Jericho, Jake Hager, Sammy Guevara. They'll face Sky, Paige, Dos Santos. Also, Minoru Suzuki, Daniel Bryan. Yeah, that's going to be now. Bear with me a second here. There's going to be a buy-in. They're calling it the buy-in to preview a huge Friday Rampage and a Saturday Dynamite. The buy-in includes Bobby Fish taking on that Morty guy. That's what's going to be happening from there. But yeah, Daniel Bryan, Minoru Suzuki, and that's badass. That is freaking badass. So no show this Wednesday. So it's safe to say the way that we're going to do it right now, as you guys know by now, as far as my Rampage coverage is at the 411 Mania site on Fridays covering Rampage. I will definitely do a special Saturday night show for you guys as soon as Dynamite concludes. We'll definitely talk about Dynamite. I'll give you my thoughts on Rampage. So that should be a fun show. So if you're around, definitely come and hang out. Should be a good show. Meantime, that is going to do it. We're going to stick a fork in it. This show is DONE done. Please be kind, rewind. Check out previous episodes you might have missed, available on demand and on the downloads. For you NFL sports fans, I did talk at great length about the John Gruden resigning from the Las Vegas Raiders. There were so many layers to that. I did look at that. I did react for the very first time to the Wild Women of Wrestling news with their relaunch happening next year. Tessa Blanchard being involved again. AJ Mendez being involved with the promotion. Also talked at great length about the Dave Chappelle special, The Closer. So loaded up episode. One thing I should note, if you end up checking out the webcast version of the show, the last 5 minutes of the show was interrupted because we were having a live streaming issue. So it's up to you. If you don't mind the fact that the last 5 minutes of the show was cut off, enjoy the webcast version. If you want to have like the complete show, then check out the audio version available wherever you get your podcasts. Get at your man on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Use keywords, the RCWR show. And please, as you make your exit, especially if you made it up to this point, make sure you show that ultimate love. Utilize that superpower that you have and hit that subscribe button. Definitely hit the like button. If you do anything, hit that like button, because when you do that, that really helps put more eyeballs, not just on this episode, but for our channel in general. Even if you're checking this out on demand, it helps out a great ton. Means a lot. Till next go round, I'll catch you guys Saturday night for Rampage Dynamite Talk. Be safe. Most importantly, be kind to one another. And I will catch you guys next go round. Peace, y'all. Take care.